Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and that's a bit loud, and welcome to the final part of the Sonic & Knuckles commentary, where things are beginning to heat up with Sonic and Tails under attack from, well, Dr. Eggman, really. This is actually a pretty cool... Well, I mean, the opening of this boss fight is pretty cool. When we get to the boss itself, it's, well, decidedly kinda kappa sheet, because of the fact that it's just... dull, to be perfectly honest. Like, I mean, I do like the sense of perspective. You can see the Death Egg in the background. It's suddenly become reactivated. Emergency powers kicked in, and it's firing missiles at you. But I mean, all things aside, like, I mean, it's just kind of... Well, again, But you remember what I was saying earlier with, certain boss fights being better than others? This is an example of a boss fight being not so good, and by which I mean bad. And, you know what, as much as people might say that, like, the whole... I can't remember what the fuck the Eggman machine was in Shadow the Hedgehog, you know, the roulette machine one that, you know, says, oh no, not Shadow Fever or whatever. This one I think is dumber than that, because again, Eggman has a machine that's, you know, covered up with some metallic surface that's impossible for Sonic to penetrate, but his own bombs can penetrate it, and he does nothing to prevent his death, and that to me I think is worse than, oh no, not Shadow Fever, which was at least there to power his, you know, shadow androids. So, yeah, this boss fight kinda sucks, and from a gameplay perspective, it's just waiting for him to do the thing where he kills himself, so... there isn't really any skill involved. Like, I mean, it's made piss easy when you have the Fire Shield or Hypersonic, so... And even in that case, since you can recover rings and shit, like, it's just a case of... playing the runaround, really, so... what do you really have to say for a boss like this other than just, okay, is it over yet? Is it over yet? Oh, still going. Oh well, I guess I should just drink my sorrows away. I just go to bed because it is currently fucking 11:30 right now. Whatever. The boss is finally over and we can finally get to the good shit. Whoa! Yep, even though we're standing on an edge, I still have the ability to pose. I can't remember, I think it might have been Sonic 2 actually, where you could kinda glitch it out where Sonic doesn't do his victory animation at all, but just hangs on the edge. But anyway, what is this? Is this a third act? Hidden Palace Zone? No acts? What could this be? Yeah, I guess we'll be seeing it in a second anyway, but I just want you to take a look at the skybox. I might be showing off something else for the thumbnail of this video, but again, whatever, I guess we'll see. But yeah, this is your opportunity to gather a few rings, you know, just save everything up for a certain encounter. Look at that right there, that is fucking beautiful. With the Death Egg in the background. It's even more beautiful in Knuckles' version, because you see it, like, just the open expanse of the sky, just looking down. It's amazing. By the way, Knuckles is just as easy, if not easier, than Sonic Adventure. He glides up and down, just, up and hit him, really. But, do take notice of that mural over there, of the prophesized battle against Sonic and Eggman. A mural in which actually inspired the existence of Shadow the Hedgehog into being. Little did Gerald Robotnik know that his grandson would be facing off against an enemy of his own, so... it's interesting, but alas, Dr. Eggman is cutting his losses and saying, fuck it, and taking the Master Emerald to power the Death Egg. A move he'd actually pull again in a couple of other games, but not really commit, despite the fact that the Master Emerald is, at least at this point in the series, the most powerful gem in existence, and yet he doesn't do anything against it? But alas, with his and Knuckles' ties now truly broken, he decides to team up with our heroes Sonic and Tails and, well, get things to brass tacks, really. And this does, and again, like, I mean, again, I can't help but love, like, the game's very animation-heavy method of storytelling, because again, it tells everything you need to know and something that would have been otherwise a more expanded story, but again, I love this, and it leads to one of the best zones, and again, a pick that I'm really glad made it into Sonic Generations, Sky Sanctuary Zone. Are really fucking beautiful. It's got a lot of greenery, it's got a lot of, you know, it's got a lot of mystery and intrigue to it, really. Like, I mean, not just with the fact that, you know, you have the impending threat of the Death Egg rising above, but again, it does kind of make you wonder what Knuckles' ancestors did with this place, really. Like, if this was their shrine to what had happened, or if this was, I guess, perhaps a taste into what sort of, I guess, like, fruits the Chaos Emeralds could, bestow upon people who use its power correctly. Because, I mean, bear in mind, like, I mean, in Sonic 2's manual, like, I mean, West Side Island, they use the Chaos Emeralds to give them this degree of prosperity, so is this meant to be a taste of what the Chaos Emeralds could gift people who use its power for good? I can't really say for certain, but I mean, even if this is a taste of an ancient civilization, or at least a remnant of what a civilization was like at full power, then goddamn, man, this is interesting. And this is what I was mentioning in the previous part with nostalgic callbacks. You see this Metal Sonic-looking robot, now dubbed Mecha Sonic, because apparently we need a distinction between Silver, Mecha, and Metal Sonic for some reason, even though two of which don't appear again after the classic games. But yes, we get callbacks to previous bosses. We see the Ball and Chain boss, which otherwise would have been a bit droll. But again, and we'll soon be seeing others from Sonic 2 and, you know, all that kind of stuff. And you know what, I will just say that unlike Sonic today, which tends to dip too heavily into the nostalgia thing, stuff like this I think is nice, because it does have kind of a full circle kind of quality to it. Yeah, like the Mecha Sonic is just testing Sonic's resolve and, you know, going through previous strategies as he slowly begins to adapt, so I don't know, like, I mean, it makes sense, like, in terms of what Mecha Sonic's trying to do to match his abilities, but at the same time, it's also, I don't know, just a cool way to really tie things together, which is more than I can say for Sonic today, where it's just used because, well, nostalgia pandering, really. Or at least, or at the very least, like, more of a cynical business decision kind of thing, rather than a nice bookend kind of thing like it is here. But again, that might just be me being cynical, even though it's not, but, I don't know, maybe I'm getting a bit too cynical these days. Excuse me. But alas, yeah, now's the time if it ever was to bust out Hypersonic or Supersonic, and really go to town on everything. I don't know, man, I don't really have much else to say other than Sky Sanctuary Zone. You get to see a lot more of it in Generations, in my eyes, because again, you get to see the interior, you get to see some cool backdrops of it, and again, Mecha Sonic is basically just pish, really, just run into him. Again, it's basically easy as Silver Sonic, really. But notice the fact that he's still got some power left. He's still hanging in there, and he wasn't completely destroyed. Very interesting. But yeah, you'll be seeing what happens to him shortly after in Knuckles' story. Which again, I'm including as the last 5 minutes. I was initially going to make it a separate video, but again, it wasn't really long enough to justify, so yeah, you're seeing the ending to Sonic & Knuckles today. And now you get to see the epic scene of Sonic and Tails jumping to the Death Egg before it's too late. A scene that I really would have loved to have seen done in a more cinematic cutscene, like in a later Sonic game, but hey, can't get everything we want. Or at least in this case, get nothing that we want. And this is the Death Star. I mean, Death Egg. I mean, Death Star. I mean, whatevers. This is... Well, again, I will say this much is better than the one we got in Sonic Forces, which was basically run across a power core, and apparently that destroys everything for some reason. Oh, by the way, contrary to popular belief, if you have an electric shield, you can still get shocked and take damage, so, yeah, pay attention to that one. But I mean, again, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the Death Egg, at least in Sonic 3, but again, I do think this is a very apropos final stage, especially since it's got a lot of cool atmosphere, cool music, and well, compared to Sonic 2, it's definitely got a lot more on show for it. Like, it definitely feels very much like a Fortress of Evil, and at least keeps, you know, the same degree of threat that I believe the Death Star had. At least insofar as Star Wars Episode 4 anyway. Like, I mean, you don't do anything involving the Tractor Beam or fighting any Darth Vader kind of figures, but, you know, you do still get some pretty cool levels regardless. And, again, this might just be my own personal interpretation here, but, like, I mean, considering the boss at the end, is that core off in the distance meant to imply what we're eventually going to be facing? I don't know, like, I mean, well, again, I say the core, but I mean, I don't mean like a power core or anything. I mean more in the sense of like a security drone kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my buttocks, for the lack of a better phrase, so who knows, really. I wish I had anything more to say in terms of any other tangents, but I've kind of expunged them all excitedly. But I mean, I will say though, like, I mean, I can still remember the first time I beat Sonic 3, and let's just say getting to this point of the game was just fucking... I was hyped, man. Like, I mean, again, one thing I can say about Sonic 3 with its contextual energy is that the game really understands how to build up its, you know, level thematics, and again, it really knows how to build up for a good climax, and again, like, I mean, more than any other Sonic game, this one really capitalizes on being like, the third act finale kind of thing. Like, I mean, comparing this to Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and all that kind of stuff, this is epic as fuck. I don't know. But, Again, here's the boss I'm talking. Again, like, I will say that I don't really like this boss all that much, to begin with, because... Again, like, I mean, you can... Well, if you want to, you can go gung-ho and attack it like that. Its second phase is a little bit annoying with the spinning platforms that can interrupt your jumps on occasion if you're trying to beat this boss legit. But again, this is part of why I recommend Supersonic, because you can quite easily go to town on this thing. It's just a bit of a pain in the ass and not really a boss worth dealing with. But anyway, let's put down another poster for the Sonic movie, Sonic in Star Wars, which is probably what we're going to be getting for the Sonic movie 2 if the rumors are to be believed. It's either that or we're going to be getting like a Knuckles weirdo thing, at least if the rumors are correct. And now we get to the Death Egg Numeral 2, where we get to go on its surface, orbiting the Earth with a pretty cool view of the planet actually, it looks nice, man. And we also have anti-gravity gimmicks, which, yes, take that, Ratchet and Clank, and Supreme Mario Galaxy, and Sonic Adventure 2, which is beating itself for something or other, whatever. I have no idea what I'm saying anymore, I'm just buying the time, really. Death Egg, Death Egg, Death Egg. We lose the shield. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Okay, on to something a little bit more scintillating than whatever else. Yeah, I suppose the only thing that really drags the Death Egg down, in my opinion, is mainly the two boss fights, one of which for being decent, if slightly annoying, and the other of which for basically just being, again, akin to my philosophy of how a good boss fight is, you know, player interaction and reaction from the boss, whereas, well, the boss of Act 2 is just kind of bleh. But it is followed up by two of my favorite bosses in a Mega Drive Sonic game, so yeah, ebbs and flows, really. And I suppose, to say anything else, or I guess to have any last pieces to say on Sonic 3, well actually no, I'll probably save that for a little bit later. I mean, I suppose in terms of Tails or anything, he gets no exclusive boss fights or anything. I believe in the Sonic Jam port of Sonic 3, he actually does get to be the easy mode of the game. I believe a similar thing was also said for Sonic 2 or all that kind of stuff, but... well, I mean, that's certainly a thing, I guess. I mean, I suppose you could probably also consider him the easy mode already, because, you know, he has that whole, like, oh, he's the younger character, and plus, like, he can fly, which breaks the level design a little bit, so... I don't know if there's any truth in that, but that's just my guess. And I'm supposed to also talk about Sonic Jam in and of itself, which contains all... Well, it contains Sonic 3, Sonic & Knuckles, and again, you can join them together in that version. In fact, I think most versions of, and re-releases of Sonic & Knuckles can allow you to join both cartridges. I think with the sole exception of the Ultimate Mega Drive collection, because apparently there were so many games loaded onto that they couldn't fit, like, the complete Sonic & Knuckles collection on there, so... yeah, so, again, what do you want more? Phantasy Star from the Master System, or do you want Sonic 3 complete? I prefer the original Phantasy Star, thank you very much. And, oh, look, automation in Sonic games, truly 0 out of 10, worst game ever. It literally ruined everything, including my childhood, even though I wasn't there at the time. But I'm saying it anyway, because that's what people taught me to believe. I wish I had something more informative to say, but I don't really. I suppose, I guess, also my lack of anything to say is that there isn't really much to say about this, like, I mean, it's just going across the exterior. I guess... no, like, I guess maybe they couldn't really do it because I thought it was either ripping Star Wars off too much, or I guess the fact that they didn't really have the power for it, but I guess maybe having some, like, fighters in the background, or, like, an assault on the Death Egg. Which kind of makes me think of Sonic Forces, actually. Which is like one of the few cool set pieces of that game, actually, when they had you jumping from fighter to fighter and, like, putting a stop to it. But anyway, this is the boss fight that I was talking about earlier, where you basically... Again, all you really need to do, get the little pieces of shit down there to hit Eggman's, like, hyper-metallic robot. It is fucking tedious, to be perfectly honest. I'm half convinced I should speed this shit up, but... Unless we cannot, for the future or some shit or other. Again, you can't hurt him from the top because, again, that's shielded. You can only wait until the mechs are at the bottom and that little shield thing. And my editor is lagging again, please, oh wait, it's fine again. Okay. But like, I mean, yeah, you can kind of flip it up a little bit, but it doesn't really do much. So again, you can only attack from the bottom, and this boss fight is fucking tedious, and, to be perfectly honest, Also, for some reason it uses, like, the supersonic transformation noise, and I have no idea why. Oh no, Eggman gotta run away, and he's still faster than Sonic. But yeah, this is really fucking cool. Like, I absolutely love the final fucking boss fight music here, man. It is... It's climatic as hell, but also, like... It really seals the degree of danger the world is in, man. Like, Eggman's on the verge of conquering everything, and it's up to you to stop him. And again, it's also part of the reason why you gotta make sure you get as many rings as possible, because... Well, I mean, while I don't think Supersonic is necessarily, well, necessary to take down this behemoth, it certainly does help. Well, I don't know, I suppose the fact that it kind of ruins the dramatic music here, but I don't know. Again, I guess also to deal one last bit of trivia, the music you heard initially before we transformed to Supersonic was actually the same final boss music you would have heard in Sonic 3, when you fought against, like, another boss fight, you know, as the Death Egg was falling to Earth. Again, what you're hearing right now, this is what you would have heard at the end of Sonic 3 when you had that final boss fight. Oh, by the way, don't get overzealous and damage Eggman too much, because again, with those collapsing blocks, you do have a chance to fall behind, and again, if you fall off, you will die, and have to do all that again, so, yeah, keep on your toes, dudes. But alas, Eggman is defeated, and if you didn't collect all the Chaos Emeralds, that would be the end of it, but what is this? The Doomsday Zone? But, yeah, if you get all the Chaos Emeralds, you get the first example of the series' history, actually, where you get a Supersonic-only final boss fight, and something that will continue to be a trend, up until, I think, generations, actually. Wow, that's saddening. Wow, it's been over 10 years since we got a boss. In terms of strategy for this one, actually, memorize the ring patterns. You may die a fair bit in this stage if you're unprepared, but, memorize where the rings are, and, collect as many as you can, because you're gonna fucking need them. Again, I'd say Eggman's missiles actually do a pretty decent job of, telling you where to go, actually, so, or at least in the pattern that they were before, so, yeah, just be copacetic, dudes. But again, get as many rings as you can, boost all the way over towards Eggman, and this is where the meat and potatoes of the final boss will finally commence. Okay, here we go. So again, what you need to do is basically just guide the missiles towards Eggman's cockpit, and do so before you run out of rings, which you'll know because the stage music will actually increase in tempo, which basically is saying, hurry the fuck up or you're going to die. And this isn't the only thing, because again, you also gotta chase down Eggman before he gets away, and again, if you run out of rings at that point, guess what you're doing all over again. But again, if there's anything else I can say about this boss fight, I really love the sense of scope, spectacle, and the fact that you're just chasing down Eggman in this final last-ditch effort escape. You know, as both of you are desperately fighting to reclaim control of the Master Emerald, as was prophesied on the mural, so yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy, really. I don't know, it's just a really epic boss fight, and one that I would honest to God like to see in 3D. Like, I mean, I guess you did sort of get a glimpse of it in Sonic Unleashed when you're fighting against, like, Dark Guy or whatever, but I don't know, it wasn't entirely the same thing, and I guess that's to be commented on at a later date. But one last hit and Eggman is destroyed, and, well, reap the rewards of your victory. We've reclaimed the Master Emerald, and we will return it to Knuckles Knidna. I have no idea what the fuck I'm saying that. Oh yeah, and in between games, I guess Tails attached a magnet clamp thing. Oh well, he's putting his tech genius to use, I guess. But yeah, again, this is also where we transition over towards the Angel Island floating again kind of thing, because this is where we see Angel Island begin to take flight again, because the Master Emerald allows it to fly, and when it isn't in flight, it falls to the ocean and causes a huge number of untold damages to sea life and property around it. Kinda surprised that Sonic Adventure didn't make a bigger deal out of it, but whatevers! But that being said though, like, this is a really fucking... Again, this is where the game would end if you were playing Sonic or Tails, so yeah, like, I mean, this is where your story went in. But we are not quite done yet, because we have one last story to go. Hidden Palace Zone, with Knuckles, and again, bear in mind that this does take place, you know, after the fact, as you can see with the Death Egg being completely gone, and the really cool looking gaping cavern down beneath. And again, unfortunately, Knuckles doesn't get to see the Death Egg or go through Sky Sanctuary, but instead he meets the Eggman Robo, who takes him hostage. I guess... So wait a second, is this meant to imply that Mecha Sonic is behind the whole thing, or... that perhaps Knuckles got away just in time, or that the Mecha Sonic was working for the Egg Robo? I don't know, but I mean, either way, Mecha Sonic is Knuckles' final boss fight. Again, he wasn't destroyed. He takes him down a little bit, but since he learned from Sonic's, shall you say, ass-whooping, well, he basically learns that he can also use the power of the Chaos Emeralds, which, I guess kinda makes sense, but also kinda doesn't, since, you know, wouldn't he, like... Well, then again, I guess Sonic 2, so maybe he had that in his databanks and got the idea there. But yeah, this is also one of the few times, again, in canon, not talking about the comics, you fucking nerds, where people use the Master Emerald's power to enhance their abilities, and I guess maybe the fact that it doesn't last as long might be indicative of the fact that, unless of course you're an Echidna or someone who knows how to use its power, that you can't maintain your transformation for very long. I don't know. I mean, it's a serviceable final boss fight, I'd say, but at the same time, though, like, I mean, it's just fascinating to see how the Master Emerald was used, slash not used, throughout the years, so who knows, really. But alas, as the Sky Sanctuary begins to crumble, who comes to our rescue? Oh, can't name in suspense. It's Sonic the Hedgehog, flying his plane the Tornado, which, yes, it is his plane, it belonged to him initially. And again, he brings it back to, I guess what's meant to be the altar where it is in Sonic Adventure. I guess to add continuity to the two games, and... yeah, Sonic and Knuckles' friendship has now been established, if slightly, because, I mean, it wouldn't be until at least, I think, like, Heroes where the two really became cemented as friends, but... I don't know. A bit tense of a relationship, I guess, in an older brother kind of way, but... you know, the two are on good terms now, and thus... well, Angel Island continues to soar. I mean, this is a really fucking beautiful ending, like, I love this. And thus, we get a classic Sonic tradition of having a medley of all these different stages, and... well, that was the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic and Knuckles, or fucking whatever game, fucking whatever. But again, that's just me being silly. Anyway, that was the Sonic and Knuckles commentary, and it's almost midnight, but alas, I stuck through it, I drank a lot, but I managed to get through the game, and well, again, I don't really know what I can say without repeating myself here, really, but Sonic 3 is a fantastic game, again, in terms of, to be honest, I don't really know, like, I mean, again, from a gameplay perspective, again, it focuses that everything that needs to be focused on. The core gameplay of Sonic, I think, has been refined to near perfection, to the point where, again, as much as it might possibly be shitting on Mania, I don't really think you had much else to go. At least not without reinventing the formula akin to what you would have seen with games like, say, Sonic Advance or Sonic Rush. And I mean, really, again, like, Tails and Knuckles add a lot more dimensions to the gameplay if you use their abilities. The new special stages are absolutely fantastic, and again, if they have to make a return, I'd rather it be, I'd rather it be Blue Sphere. And in terms of the soundtrack, like, I mean, just take a listen to it, man, it's fucking fantastic. And I mean, in terms of story, like, I mean, while it is told simply through animations, it's really cool. The music gives it a lot of atmosphere, the art design helps to really, you know, sell what the characters are going through. And again, I think this game is just really cohesive. Like, I mean, I like the fact that this game took strides towards a slightly more realistic art style, because again, it makes the levels feel fuller, richer in detail, and so full of life, man. Like, again, it makes the game something just amazing to go through again and again. And like, I mean, even as an adult, like, I mean, I used to play this a lot as my teenage years because it was just fun to pick up and play, but even now, still has that same quality to it. So, like, I mean, while I disagree with the sentiments that a lot of people have, I can see why some people think that Sonic did lose something when going into 3D, but at the same time, though, I mean, if you're gonna badger Sonic Adventure or whatever, again, they built upon what this game set up, and Sonic Adventure, I think, was the natural evolution, more so than Sonic Extreme or you know, whatever pseudo 2D Sonic Mania kind of thing could have ever been, so... Again, Sonic 3 is a really good game. It took the Mega Drive formula to its fullest extent, and it has my respect for that. To me, this is still going to be the very much, you know, the end of classic Sonic, and again, I think it deserves respect for that, so... On that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and next time we'll be commentating over Ratchet & Clank 3, so catch you dudes and dudettes next time. Bye-bye.